Hello and good morning. It's Annelie van Rensburg, and today I want to show you what I'm going to do with these eggs. A friend made me these. I'm not sure what she used. I know she used plaster of Paris, but she mixed it with something. I will try and find out, because these laid in the rain outside for a lot of months and it didn't perish or anything happened to it. So it's just got a few marks, but I actually love the texture. So I'm going to use my my modeling clay. It's an air dry clay. You can use any air dry clay or paper clay, and then I'm going to use a few molds. I'm not sure yet which ones. What I really like is I like this one a lot, this fleur de lis design. So I'm going to use it on one of the eggs. And then I'll see. Maybe I'm just going to do one and decoupage the other one. I will see when I get there. So let's get started. I live in South Africa, and where I live it's very hot and dry. So I see some people say this keeps forever on their shelf. They don't even need to open it. They can just close it. They can just fold it and put it down. Where I live, I can. So if you're in South Africa, just be careful. I stick it down and close it very tightly, and then I put it in a bag. And I put it in a dry place, cool dry place. Okay, so I'm going to try that one now. I don't think, maybe it's going to be a little bit too big for the egg, but we'll see when we get there. Just press it down firmly. Make sure you go into all those crevices, and I just want to take a little bit away because I've got a little bit too much here. Okay. Now when you get this far, and you make sure you press it down everywhere and all of the things that you can get it into, you can start to unmold it. Now what I usually do is I just open it up on the sides like that, and then when it's got an extension like that, I usually pop it out from this side as if you are rolling it out of the mold. Sometimes it breaks, but I just use it like that. I just glue it and I use it. I forgot to get out my glue. Give me just one moment. For the locals, I use ordinary wood glue. I recently found this one at Boulder. So it works very nice for me because it's got a little bit of a opening there that I like. So you can just use ordinary wood glue or a PVA glue to stick them down. So I just make sure I put glue on everywhere. Let me just catch that one with my finger. And then you can see where you want to position it. I think I'm gonna go for it there. And then you just press it down gently onto your egg or whatever you are going to use. I just make sure I'm going in everywhere. And there you go. Then we're going to move on to the next step. So I'm thinking about putting a type of a border around it. Just want to see what I've got, what I can use. Maybe this one is going to be too big. Let's try that one. Okay, so I just start pressing it from one side and just feeding the clay sort of into that area there. When I get to that side, I will break it off there, and then I will just press this into all the nooks and crannies firmly. Just press it in firmly. Just flatten it a little bit, and then I'll open it like this all around the mold, and then I'm just going to roll it out of the mold like that. So I'm not sure what I want to do here. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think I like it more like this. It's a little bit thick, but I haven't got anything else. Let me just quickly check. That one can maybe work better. Let us see. I'm just going to put that one aside. This small one, this one like this, is not a deep mold. It's a very flat mold. And I usually struggle with they sometimes break. You can see it picks up with your finger already. Just going to take a little bit away. And I just press it to the side to take the excess away. These molds I think will work actually a little bit better with resin, but as I want to mold it around the egg, I need to take it out wet and mold it around the egg. Yeah, so you can put in here whatever you like. I just like the dust, and I like now I forgot the other one's name. Okay, you can see this one is a little bit more trickier, but we will do the best we can. And as I said, if it breaks off at a piece, I just glue it together. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, let us try. You see there it broke off, but I'll just take out that piece. Maybe I'm just gonna, yeah, it's a little bit heavy, but I'm gonna go with this one. I'm not gonna, oops, that's too much. You don't need to put a lot on, you can just put a thin layer on. I've overdone it now. Just wipe that off. See, I just fix it like that. Press it down. Make sure you press it down all the way. You can see I've got too much glue on, but luckily I'm just going to move that a little bit to the back. Luckily you're going to paint over this, so you won't be able to see anything anyway. Just make sure it's pressed down firmly all around the edges. And now I just want to do something small underneath, and then I'm going to leave this side plain, or maybe I'll crackle it. I'll just see. Now just to find something, I think maybe this one. Don't know if you can see that. This one. You can even dust your molds with corn flour, or I think it's corn flour called in English. In South Africa we call it maizena, or even I think baby powder will also work. I haven't tried that before, just to make it to come out easier. I usually, when I clean them at the end of a session, then I put in a little bit of, I dust it in with a brush, a little bit of maizena, and then I just store it, and when I take it out, it's already got its layer of maizena, and then I just use it like that, and then at the end of the session I just clean it again, and I dry it and wait and dust in the maizena. Okay, so I think I just want to quickly, there's a little bit of a problem there. When your hands get too sticky, you can just go and wash them and dry them, and then you can go on. Okay, so I've made that little one. I'm just gonna quickly, this one is gonna be easier to unmold. There you go. So I think I will put it on there. I actually hoped it will reach there, but I'll just fill in that piece there. Okay, so you can take your cold glue or Gorilla Glue, just put a thin layer on. So here I just want to take it out. I've got cats, so they're always everywhere around. Start to work or do something. Okay, I think that will work for me, so I'm just going to press it down again and make sure I go into everywhere, that I don't get openings. Now I just want to close those two gaps there, and then I think I'm done with this one. Then I'm going to let it dry. So let me just see, I've got roses somewhere. Maybe that one, but I think it's a little bit too big. Just give me a moment. Just quickly see where's my other molds. No, I think that one needs to work, otherwise I will, don't want the daisy. I'm gonna take these. They're very shallow, the leaves, so I don't mind if the leaves won't be able to come off, because I actually just want, okay, it came off, so it's fine. There you go. So I think I'm just going to squeeze them in there. I want it to look like a frame around the fleur de lis. I'm just going to pop it in there, press it down. Do the same on the other side. And then I just need to leave this to dry. When it's very hot, I usually work on it easy, quickly, because I just let it go touch dry, and then I'll work on top of this. But we've got a cold spell at the moment, so it's cloudy and cold. So I'm going to leave that maybe overnight, or I'm not sure, but I'll come back and I'll show you as soon as that one's dried enough. So I decided while I'm busy, I'm going to do another one. We can have two. What I'm going to use now, I'm going to use this feather. I'm just going to put them along the top. So I'm just going to put in my clay like this. These ones are also very shallow. The ones that is not very deep and a little bit shallow, they always are the more problematic ones to unmold. Okay, so I think I'm going to put these around here everywhere. And I'm going to leave the bottom open. And maybe we'll do that crackle or Mod Podge or something. I will see when I get there. Usually I change my mind. I'm going to start there on the top. I'm going to put my feather down. Make sure I press everywhere. And then I'm going to take the next one. I'm going to only use, I think, those two small ones. I think these ones will maybe be a little bit too big. So you can see I start at one end and I work my way through to the other end. Okay, what I'm going to do now, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm taking wood glue. In South Africa we call it ponel or coalame or so. What I'm going to do, I'm going to brush a generous amount just on the one side. Let it just touch dry with a hairdryer. And then I'm going to put on my chalk paint, the Saint Cloud. This one is Saint Cloud. And then I'm going to wait until it's dry. Then I'm going to turn it over and do the same on the other side. But I'm not going to do the feathers at this stage. So first of all, I'm going to take I've just put it in a small container. I'm going to take my cold glue. I'm just going to put a generous amount onto the one side. I want a crackle effect. So it works the best for me with chalk paint. So yeah, we will see. Sometimes, as I say, it doesn't work. I'm just going to quickly dry it with my hair dryer on a warm setting, that it just makes a little bit of a skin on this wet glue. And then I'm going to just quickly paint it with my chalk paint. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You must just check. It must have a little bit of a firm form on top of this. Where the paint is thicker, it will be drying big cracks, and where it's thinner, like these ones, it's supposed to dry in thinner cracks. Try and not to put a too heavy coat on, as this also makes it a problem to make the cracks. It's still a little bit wet, so I'm just going to quickly blow it. You can see it's starting to make a little bit of cracks already. You can leave it to air dry as well. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to wash my brushes, and then I'm going to put this in the sun, and I'll come back and I'll show you as soon as I'm finished. Okay, I'm still waiting for the other one to dry a little bit, so I'm going to do this one as well. As I said, you must, it's trial by error, you know. You will need to find a way to see how dry it must be, or something that you need to experiment with and find out for yourself. And as I said, try not to put too much a thick coat on. And try not to go over it again and again. I'm just going to quickly dry that one. You can see how the cracks start forming when the top layer starts to dry. It's still wet underneath, and then that's why the cracks appear. I'm just trying to dry that one a little bit, because you can see it's still a lot wet there. Okay, for now I'm finished. I'm going to let this dry. I'm just going to touch up these little pieces of white. Then I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and I'll put the stain on top of this. And a little bit of gold maybe. So I'll see you in a while. Okay, this is dry now. So I'm going to put this antique glaze, the glaze from Petite Rouge. I'm going to put this over this and let it dry a tad, and then I'm going to wipe it off with a baby wipe, and then I'm going to maybe see if I'm going to put some gold on, I'm not sure, and then I'm going to varnish it after it's dried. So now I'm just going to go with this glaze everywhere into the little nooks and crannies. I'm going to paint everything. I'm making sure especially that I go into all these little ridges and crevices so that the dark can stay there, and then I'm going to wipe it off, and then it's going to be into all this relief. I don't know how do you pronounce that, this grooves and stuff. Make sure it's going to stay into that grooves there. I'm just going around there for now. I'm not going to worry too much over the whole egg. I just want the shadowy part there around everything. This takes a while so when you do a big thing, you need to work in sections, but this is not big, so I'm going to cover the whole thing, and then I will start to wipe off. And it depends on the weather also. If it's very hot, you need to bring that in consideration. If it's colder, it's going to take longer to dry. Just gonna wash my brush, then I'm back. Okay, I'm gonna start wiping away. You can use anything for this. You can use a rag, that's a wet rag. You can use a piece of cloth. You can use a baby wipe. I usually throw this in a bucket of water. Then I rinse them out because they work wonders. Then I rinse them out and dry them, and when I start working on them and I haven't got any available, I just dry them out and I use them like this. So I just want to take away around the sides first because I don't want it to dry too much there. At this point you mustn't scrub, because sometimes you can take off the paint underneath if it hasn't dried completely. So you just wipe gently. And then you just try and take off the top layer and leave the brown inside the leaves, veins or whatever there you are busy with. Just try and wipe on top. You can take off as much as you like. It depends on what look you want to have. Okay, I'm thinking of using this Inca gold on top of the turquoise one, and then on top of this grey one. I'm talking about the mold color. I think I'm going to use the Inca German silver. Sorry. So I'm just going to take my finger like that, and I'm just going to wipe on top of all these pieces that's standing out. Not too much, just a little bit. I just want to give it a little bit of color. I tend to overdo this part usually. Just want to put a little bit of more gold on top of this and around this area. And there you have it. Okay, so for this one I'm going to try a little bit of the German silver. I'm not sure if it's going to show up. Just try it a little bit. Now I think I'm going to put the gold on. It looks better for me. So you just take your finger and you go slightly softly over the top. Okay, now I'm just going to put it in the sun outside to dry quickly. And then I'm just going to take a cloth and I'm going to buff it off, the excess. And then I'm going to varnish it and then I'm finished. I decided to do not too much gold and there I'm going again. So yeah. See you now. Okay, this ones are dry now. I've brushed them off with my paintbrush and I'm going to use a water-based gloss. It's a clear top coat. I don't like matte. I couldn't find a semi-gloss, that's my favorite, but if I don't find a semi-gloss I'll go to gloss because I like shiny things and I don't like the matte. But if you prefer the matte you can go for the matte. I'm just putting it thickly on now, and then I'll come back and I'll take it away because I want it to go into all these little holes and everything that's there. This kind of varnish, it's got a milky substance, or it looks like milk almost, but if it dries crystal clear. The only problem is you can see there's little small bubbles. You need to blow these away the whole time with this type of varnish that I'm using. It's a local brand, so if you want to know what I'm using, it's a very nice brand. I like it a lot. You can just ask me in the comments and I will tell you where to find it. I actually thought when I had a look at this one, it can look very cool if I put this type of pearly bead underneath this. I've only got this little thingy. It's too small for this one. I thought maybe even a tassel. But I haven't got those at hand now. As I said, I live in a very small town. I'm not going to find that in the next week. So I'm still going to think about what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get another one. So here you can see they are dry now. I hope you can see them nicely. I like them both. I love feathers, but I must actually say this one is maybe my favorite. I think what I will do next time, I will put my turquoise. You see, I'm a turquoise fan anyway. I will put my turquoise maybe here and do these in the grey. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If I put on something, I will show you. But for now I'm finished, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and hit that bell. And I will gladly, if there's any requests, I will gladly just put it underneath in the comments, and I will gladly look into it. If I've got something that I can use, I will do it and I will show you in a video. Thanks a lot and enjoy your day.